Now let me get to LeBron. I don't like his ass. Not a little bit. I understand what he means to Melo. I understand what he means to D Wade, my boys. I understand it. But all I'm going to say when it comes to that, Melo is 1,000% right. This dates back more than a decade. I'm not going to go into detail at the shit this man has tried to do to me. I believe he might not be interviewed and he might not be quoted, but the things he says and the things he has said to people, it's gotten back to me. The things that he's tried to do, if it were up to him, I wouldn't be where I am today. The day that he rolled up on me courtside, it was the day my contract was announced.
Hello and welcome to the Who You Got channel on the Sun-EB7 podcast. I'm Sun-EB7. Thank you for joining. You heard it. That was Stephen A. Now, of course, there's things that's being mentioned about smaller podcasts and different things like that. And that will be true. Because this is out in the public, I think everybody gets a shot at it. If you want this to be private, if you don't want people to have an opinion, then you do it in private. You make the phone call or you set something up amongst your friends or your community, whatever. But if you go on tour and you start communicating your opinion, then I'm of the mindset that you're trying to control the narrative. So what you're saying on the podcast is now the narrative. It's not really, not to me, but that's what the attempt is. And that is why I'm saying something today. What I say may not matter. It may not mean anything. It's going to mean something to somebody, one person at least. Because now we're talking about wisdom. We're not talking about we're not talking about just mouthpieces. Look, there's a lot of people on this earth. All of them don't have a microphone and all of them don't have a job with the worldwide leader and things like that. But that doesn't mean they don't have good input to add to anything that's publicly displayed, for lack of a better term. So one of my questions would be, is Stephen A. Smith concerned about what it looks like? It looks like, let's say to some people, it looks like you coming on the podcast to stir shit up. Mainly black podcasts and black podcasters, athletes, where you can get the word out, people who have a big following. And that looks like you're trying to control the narrative, right? Because this is an issue between you and LeBron. There's some other issues out there. This whole video, I'll have the link in the description. You can go watch the whole podcast. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it so far. But if you haven't, the link will be in the podcast. Yeah, so when you go on other podcasts and give your take, then it suggests you're trying to control the narrative, right? So if you're trying to control the narrative, why? What else is going on that you feel you need to control the narrative? Now, I'm not asking, I'm just saying this is what's out there. Because we're talking about wisdom now. We're not talking about who talks and says what. We're talking about people who's looking at it saying why. And then once they know why, or once they can come up with a reason why, or what they might think is why, then you go on down the tracks. You start finding out, okay, there's this going on, and there's that going on, and this is what's driving this. Because this was a private beef between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron. There was no reason we all had to see it or hear it. I get it. LeBron went on to a podcast, a rival podcast, and fanned the flames a little bit. Well, one would argue that was in response to what you did or what Stephen A. Smith did. See, when Stephen A. Smith went on his first take and said that about as a father. It doesn't matter what he feels or how this beef or he tried to get me. That was a very bad take. That was the worst take I've seen. To go at a man about his children playing sports and say as a father. That I was completely turned off, and it doesn't matter to him. He don't know me from a can of paint. But the fact of the matter is it was wrong, and wrong is wrong in any level at any time. So when you did that, we all know the rule. Actions cause reactions. Every action has a reaction. That was his reaction. So now we want to turn it into this whole big old thing. Okay, maybe, but that's not who's on the podcast right now. To me, this is similar. When you did that with his kid, it was similar to what you did with Iverson. I won't go back into that. You justify it all the time. I see it. Stephen A. justifies that all the time. If you go back and look at how he covered Iverson, yeah, I never agreed. Not that I have to, but I understood who he was when he covered Iverson. You know, you can look back 30 years and say, yeah, you know, I did it for this reason. I did. Yeah. But what Iverson was going through at that time, he didn't need somebody that high up that was putting him out and exploiting him. I didn't want to make this the video too long, so it's got another part to it. So we're going to put a part 2 so that you can watch the second part whenever you get time. So that's the end of this video, and join me for part 2. Thank you.
Nothing to do with a lot of these people. And they didn't, so you want to hate on him. Let me go too. I understand what he means to Melo. I don't understand what he means to D-Wade, the boys.